No, fuck. Now let's get back on track. I didn't put the penny on the track this time. What's
I have
up?
something.
Took us a minute, but we're here.
This is interesting.
We warmed up.
Yeah. Well, this obviously Talking Bits is a stand-up centric show, but you guys have both been on before. We've asked you all these questions, so I have a couple things I want you guys to weigh in on because I have been seeing some news in the stand-up world, and I think this is the place to discuss it because we're experts here.
We're gonna talk about the restaurant closing down. I'm just kidding.
No. Pay your taxes, ladies and gentlemen. They recently an article came out about Ellen DeGeneres. She's touring again, and she's proclaiming that she is the most hated person in stand-up right now. You guys have any thoughts on Ellen touring for stand-up?
Have you ever seen Ellen DeGeneres' stand-up?
Yes,
Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, when she was like a likable lesbian.
Right.
So
You know?
this is like
Back
her
in
roast.
98?
Yeah.
The last stand-up I saw, the last one I saw was like, I would say probably her most recent special came out 5-6 years ago.
Relatable.
Sure.
Netflix, yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
I saw that one. I didn't find it that funny.
Wasn't that good?
So-
I think she was great in the 80s, like when she first popped off. I appreciate it.
I think she goes through the same thing like a lot of people who are like very good stand-ups and then they do like this other thing that makes them wildly famous and successful. And then Kevin Hart's a good example of this. Kevin Hart is like his first special or two fucking hilarious. And then he goes and is an actor and doing all this other stuff and he doesn't do stand-up anymore. Then he goes back and it's not as fucking good.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Hart's still great. He's still hilarious, but it's like not.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Well, with Ellen, though, she obviously very famously was fired from her show for being a bitch to people and being mean.
Big meanie.
Yeah.
Maybe the first person ever to lose a career over just being a meanie. Like,
Being
no,
a big meanie.
no allegations.
Like,
They're
You
just-
can't be a big meanie at work.
can't be a big
It was
meanie.
during
Yeah.
COVID, right? Like she was just
think
like
so.
the
Yeah.
worst to like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
But
that.
so now she's
Well-
touring again, which is wild.
Well, they said
She
that she was a
has to.
big meanie for a long time.
Yeah, it wasn't
it was
just
like
during COVID.
yeah,
Right.
like 2
Like,
decades of being a big
Yeah.
meanie, dude.
Yeah.
Big meanie.
Big
I like it.
meanie's very funny. Yeah.
That's
She's a big meanie.
That's funny.
Well, I mean, I guess if Cosby can tour again, anybody can do it. Then.
But
Is he touring?
he was at one
He
point. I don't know
was.
if he is right
yeah.
now.
Nathaniel was
In
trying
recent
hard
years,
to get
he's been
tickets.
touring,
He just
yeah.
couldn't get them.
touring,
Yeah. That's true.
Yep.
touring.
Okay,
touring
controversial
shelters.
statement, but he should just die.
He's getting old.
Just say controversial. I don't think it's a very
He's,
controversial
Okay,
statement.
I'm like,
Yeah.
he should just kind of...
Controversial statement. Not a nice fella. He's not a very nice fella. Yeah.
Here's
So-
don't let Bill
He's a
Cosby
real
buy you a
goofball.
drink. You know. Anyway.
Yeah.
But Ellen's like leaning into the like everyone hates me thing. She's like
Right, like playing the
like
victim.
she's
kind of.
canceled.
well.
Is she
Yeah.
like so she's going like full Roseanne.
Pretty much.
Did Roseanne
Oh,
do anything
God.
after she got canceled or?
Oh yeah, dude, Roseanne's back.
She's
She's
comedy.
popping off.
yeah,
Is
she's
she
back.
back?
Yeah. Roseanne's pretty much back. I mean,
He's,
as back as you can
As back
be.
as you can be after getting
Yeah.
fired from the show that's named after you.
My God.
That's true.
Yeah.
My God.
Do you know they still made the show without her? Did
The
you guys-
Connors.
I didn't know that.
They
until-
killed her off. I think they said that she overdosed on pills or something on the show. Is that fucked
Yeah,
up?
yeah,
That's just
yeah,
foreshadowing.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
Fucked up.
That's just good foreshadowing. is
Like
all
she
that
should
is.
come to the opioid
Yeah.
epidemic or some
That-
shit.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
they were just like, oh, well, she's a fucking pillhead. She's dead. Oh, I see you.
I didn't know they still made the
Pretty
show,
awful.
and I got like a clip from TikTok or like a clip on it on my TikTok the other day, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like,
It's out there.
yeah, that's so funny,
Bill Cosby's
is.
86, by the way. He's 86 years old.
Old as hell, dude.
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, but what if that's like the fountain of youth?
Somebody.
What?
yeah. Hold on a second.
Sexual assault?
Somebody.
I mean, what Bill? I mean, not whatever Bill Cosby was doing. Yes, but like,
yeah. I mean,
listen,
Yeah,
I'm-
because it can't be murder because OJ died.
isn't 86 the same
86
number
is
of
old for a
allegations
black
that he
guy.
has also? I think 86 is that number.
Oh,
You
so
would be
he's
the one
not
to know
gonna
that.
It's a
live
year per
much
allegation,
longer.
I think. Yeah.
Dude.
He's out of time.
Hey, I think Sean said it on the show whenever like first time he was on. I think he's too fucking old to be like. Allegations aside,
I don't know,
like
man.
let's say Bill Cosby's still American's dad. Like, forget
I don't
everything.
think that he should be driving or touring.
but yeah,
Like,
he's
probably not
little
driving.
Too old. To, he's definitely not driving.
probably not driving.
he
Yeah.
probably has bills to pay.
Too old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He only
I would
rides in
assume.
cars with a fence between him and the driver, I think.
I would
He's not
assume-
allowed to drive.
No, dude, I say let that motherfucker work till he dies and he's got to give some of that to the women. I would assume.
Well,
right?
yeah,
probably where
like
it's
I'm
going.
sure all of his like everything that he's getting, like a percentage is probably going.
I
to
don't know.
his
Did they
women.
ever? Did they ever take it civil?
work him till he dies?
Or was
dude.
it just criminal? Like, I mean, if it was just criminal, then no. Like,
Listen, man, I'm not the one to ask about Bill Cosby.
I forgot.
I got somebody we could have brought in here to
big
talk
fan.
Cosby, dude.
Super
There was a
fan.
comic in Knoxville when I first started that was like defending Bill Cosby.
Oh my
at
God.
What
open
a
mics.
hill.
He was wearing T-shirts
What
that
a
said,
hill to die
and
on.
he would only refer to him as Dr. Cosby.
What a
Oh, he said
fucking-
put some respect on his name. Does he know that he's not a real doctor? Like he never received an actual doctorate.
Oh, it's like
it was an
honorary.
honorary.
Like
I hate
Kanye.
that shit. Yeah.
What a hill to
Dr.
die on. Could you imagine?
He's less of a doctor than Dr. Pepper. That's fucked up. That's
Fucking
ridiculous.
Dr. Seuss got him beat.
Yeah, at least Dr. Pepper was doing some sort of chemistry. Well, never mind.
Dr. Scholl's actually invented something. That's true.
That was a good one. Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, could you imagine
That's a
that
degree.
being the fucking hill? You're gonna go to an open mic, and that's the hill you're gonna pick to die on.
Dr. Cosby.
Like Jesus Christ.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
how much time do I get? I get lit at 5. I got 7 minutes. All right, that'll cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's enough
All
time.
right, white people.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
black.
Yeah.
You know who it is. It's the guy that we had to cut the shit out about. Believe it or not.
I feel like certain
I've
listeners
never-
will know exactly who we're talking about.
I've
Yeah.
never met this guy, but I feel like I have a good vibe.
I can
with
show
who
you
he
some
is.
of-
Dude, you know what's crazy is he is likable.
Yeah,
That's true.
He is very
Unfortunately.
likable.
That's true. Yeah.
he's
just-
likable until he gets a mic. It
He's
sounds
just
like.
insane, dude.
Yeah.
It's a wild approach. So also Dave Attell recently released his first full-length special for Netflix with video and shit. Did you, Justin, you're an Attell guy, right?
Oh yeah.
I thought so. Yeah, I want.
yeah, of course.
Are you a big Dave Attell fan, Brandi? Have you watched his
I
stuff? at all?
learned about who he was
From Justin?
recently.
Yeah, Michael, you probably never seen Dave Attell.
I've never seen I've
Yeah.
seen him, but I've never watched his.
Yeah.
his
Well,
special
Skanks
or
for the
anything.
Memories is pretty well regarded, like one of the classic albums in stand up, and it's great. I actually just listened to it a couple months ago to get ready for his new special, so I'm kind of new to him too. But I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. He
insane,
had a recorder the whole time, like a plastic flute, and was playing it throughout the thing, which is super fucking unique. I just thought it was fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's fun. It's cool to see all these new approaches. Have you guys seen the stand up who's doing auto tune with crowd work?
I think you told me.
Somebody was telling us about that. I haven't seen it.
He's
Maybe it was
pretty
you.
funny. He's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool to see all that new inventive shit.
I
and
do
the
like
cool part is all the
T-Pain.
haters, basically, yeah. But all the haters in the comments are like, "It's bullshit. He's only getting laughs because it's auto tune." You're like,
Well, he did it
ooh.
first. Like I think you said that a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. He did it first.
Yeah.
Like
I
just
can't even
mad.
hate, dude, because somebody just showed me like a couple of days ago that there's this website that you can use now that will create AI songs
Oh
for
my
you.
god.
Yeah.
So I've made like
Yeah.
like 20 songs in every
You
genre
should play one.
about how gay Gibson is.
No, you need to play that Tupac track.
That Tupac.
Yeah, you need to play that Tupac,
Tupac going
track.
in about Gibson, dude.
We gotta hear this after the show. We gotta,
for sure.
yeah.
No,
There
I-
needs to be a
but
Patreon.
Sunday,
Good
dude,
shit.
Sunday I'm gonna bring him up at the mic to one of the songs, dude.
We have to have a Patreon for the show where we can feature all this.
I think the funniest part about it is it includes like yes that he's a comedian, but more so that he's a massage therapist. And it talks about like people falling under his touch.
Yo, this AI is good. This is a good AI.
That's awesome. That's fucking
What
awesome.
does it
That's
say?
so
Top
fucking
off,
funny.
no magician.
AI
or
is scary.
something?
Are you getting real? Like, are we gonna?
No, I was gonna transition into because this is something
business?
also in the stand-up world.
AI is terrifying.
Serious business.
I think it's
Do you
terrifying.
guys think it's gonna take over the world, or is that
AI?
where we're going? Just kidding. Go ahead.
Sort
I know,
of,
I kind
sort
of know
of.
where you're going with it.
No, so they released Will Sasso has a podcast that's basically operated by AI. It's called the Dudesy Podcast, and they programmed their AI to make a full George Carlin special on relevant topics of the day, and they put it out on their podcast. I think it's still available. You can go listen. George Carlin's estate wound up suing them for copyright, basically, of stealing their dead ancestors' work. But it's interesting because I listened to the whole thing. It's first of all, it's unsettling because it's the AI talking from Carlin's perspective, and part of it is not just jokes about modern events and stuff. Part of it is I'm coming back from the dead. I'm the first of many, and then it lists off Sam Kinison.
Is it like
Richard
in his
Pryor?
voice?
We're all
or-
coming back. Yes, it
Oh,
literally
okay.
is saying
Drake
these
is
things.
being sued by Tupac's estate
Really?
right now for the AI song that he just
Right.
released.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't even hear
Was
this Drake
you-
thing.
It's just such a blurry
Did you
line.
see the owners of Tupac's estate? It's not his mom.
No, I just heard it was his estate.
2 white people.
Is it really?
Oh, they own his estate?
Really? Oh,
Crazy.
See, that's a whole nother layer
That
to
fucked
it. Yeah.
up.
Well, the George Carlin thing is interesting because it is his voice. It
Yeah.
sounds not at perfect. Obviously, it's AI, pretty damn close. But the approach to modern events sounds like as if Carlin was taken off on whatever on AI. A lot of it is like reflecting on itself on AI and modern events. I think it's scary, but I mean, the big concern from stand-ups is like, there's going to be no stand-up because AI is going to
Yeah.
take over and write
Have-
everybody's jokes.
Do you guys listen to the Nateland podcast by chance?
Bargazzi?
Not regularly.
So this was months ago, like when ChatGPT was like everywhere. Everyone was like whatever, and they had ChatGPT write a joke in the style of Nate Bargatze, and they had Nate like do the joke, and like
Yeah.
I mean couple words need to be cleaned up really, but like it was a pretty solid
Pretty
done
close.
joke that like Nate Bargatze, like it felt like a Nate Bargatze joke, like, and he told it obviously.
scary.
I don't think
But,
that.
you can.
Go ahead.
It was
you
a
can
funny joke,
absolutely
too.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are already like people that are punching up their jokes with ChatGPT.
How do you guys feel
It's
about
a very common
I
thing.
don't like that.
that? I don't like it either.
But
I don't-
it's nothing that we can like really do or control
Nothing you
about
can
it. But
see,
but
like, or
be
you can-
better. But the thing is, it in my head, it's like, well, I have to be a better comedian or whatever because ChatGPT, like all of that AI shit, it pulls from human experience.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like
It
I
doesn't have
can
soul
be
to
better.
it. Though.
It doesn't have soul.
Right.
It
The
doesn't
authenticity
have,
of it.
yeah.
I think the problem is though is like I could have ChatGPT write me a joke right now and just perform it, and never tell a soul that ChatGPT.
And
wrote
you
my
really
joke.
should. You get a lot better.
I would.
Oh my god.
I would.
It's been a minute since we made fun of
Yeah, we
Michael.
had to
I had to get back. Yeah.
Oh, get another call, another tow truck's on its way. Yeah. So
Bomb detonation.
What's that ticking?
But for real, on the ChatGPT like
Yeah.
joke thing, I was the best person I've talked to about it so far. It's like really like given me like a good insight is my friend who's a like musical engineer, and he's like, oh, it's exactly like when people used to make drums with like actual or like make beats
Right.
with actual instruments, and then it all went on to like Fruity Loops and like all
Right.
that shit, and they started doing it all
Yeah.
on the computer. He's
Yeah.
like, he's like, dude, we've already been through this, brother. You just gotta adapt.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's like what he was saying.
I agree that you have to adapt. I think that is different because it's still you put a drum synthesizer in front of me. I can't do. You know, I can have fun, but like I can't make a beat with a drum synthesizer because I'm not trained.
But it's different.
It is different because like write a joke about the weather today, and then I have write a 5-minute joke about the weather today. Now I have a whole 5-minute fucking set
Yeah.
about weather.
But
that I didn't
it's
have to
not
think about.
from
you
your brain.
have words. Yeah, you
It
have
would
words
feel
that were
disingenuous.
given to you. And
Well,
it's
yeah.
just like
Sure.
it can give it like Chat GPT can write this shit out or whatever, but even if it writes the best fucking joke, if you're a bad comedian and you can't perform that shit, it's worthless.
That's true.
Anyway.
I agree. There's
That's
still
true.
like
You know?
comedy's not just the jokes; it's the performance of the jokes. So
Right.
like, if somebody can't perform, it doesn't
big
matter.
part
They
of
could have the best set ever, like the best jokes ever, and it still fucking sucks. But I still feel like I think 3 of the 4 of us are good performers. Not me, obviously.
Agreed.
But 3 of the 4
I
of
think
us.
we all agree.
Yeah.
But,
Agreed.
we can agree that I suck. No.
No.
But like,
Welcome back to the Michael Sucks
You at least
podcast.
have, he at least has a joke that I remember. A lot
That's-
of people, yeah,
that's notable.
I mean, I see comedy all
Which
the fucking
joke is
time.
Is it OJ?
It's where you look like.
Now he's dying to know.
this
He'll
is the-
never
it's the
not
Captain
tell this
America.
the
joke.
Captain America, that's
Yeah,
Pruitt.
yeah, yeah.
That's not
That's
even
good.
my joke.
Yeah.
Pruitt made
Pruitt,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Yeah.
He's been using Andrew's toothbrush tag too, which is great. It works
I
great.
did change the toothbrush tag.
You
now
should
works
own it
better.
though. Like it's at your expense. It should be yours.
Yeah,
That's-
and I feel like if anybody,
You should just upload a picture to Chat GPT and see what it comes up with.
just say go.
have like on Reddit with like the little roast me paper, like just upload that to ChatGPT.
That's a good way to.
I
write
think I
jokes.
would kill
Or you can
myself
just
if I
pay
put a
for
roast
them.
me thing on Reddit and it blew up. Anyway, go ahead.
Here's here's one.
What I was saying.
Hold on, one comic that I
Yeah.
was listening to talk on this subject, like a famous comedian, said he described it as like, yeah, you can always go to McDonald's, but people still cook at home. As far as AI versus something about the authenticity of it, and kind of like you were saying, it could write your joke, but it's not from your mindset.
Yeah.
It's not from your perspective. Now, obviously, you could adapt it, and that could be like a jumping off point, but it's gonna feel disingenuous. Kind of like if I just stole someone else's joke and did it. It doesn't sound like it's coming from me. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of what AI is.
I
able to
think
do.
so.
For
I
now.
just,
For now.
I just think, like, if you know a funny premise and you don't know why it's funny, I think it's kind of like people can cheat with chat, like AI.
Yeah, it's a tool.
And that's what I don't like. Like, I don't mind it helping you with the
Can I
words.
ask
but if
you
it makes the
why
jokes.
you don't like what other people do?
I'm not saying like
That's what you said.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't want it to take the creativity out because like if you have a funny premise, I want you to find the funny and the jokes in it.
worry about your own shit though.
Yeah, agree.
Okay.
Like
I'm saying, listen, I want everyone to be successful. I'm not. I know what you're saying, Brandi. What I mean is like.
He's
Say
stumped.
it.
He's stumped. I missed whatever you said. Hold on a second. So you said what?
I don't mind it helping with like a funnier word. Like we were just joking about meanie being kind of a funny word. Like I
Right.
don't mind like it helping you with a funnier word. But like if you have like a premise that you want to make a joke out of, I think the genuine aspect, like I my fear is that a lot of comedians will use the ChatGPT to find the funny and not put the work into making the joke.
To just plug in a premise and let it
make it. And if you need help with words, that's fine. Like I think that's I don't have the best vocabulary. Yes, Justin.
You can tell
You
when
can.
somebody's doing a whole joke out of ChatGPT.
You
It's
can.
not gotten to the point yet to where you can do that naturally.
That's just my fear
But-
though
yeah.
of like.
But what
Which
people
is
are
logical.
doing right now is they're using it to punch up their jokes with tags.
Right.
That 100% is happening.
And it
it's
works.
happening a lot more than you think it's happening. And
Yeah.
like a lot more people that you respect are doing it than you would think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
And it's
know.
the same shit as like somebody giving you a tag, for instance.
I guess
there
it
are some
is.
people that say like, oh, I don't want to use that. I didn't write that. But it's like all the best comedians hang out with the best comedians and they take their friends' tags.
Yeah.
But then you get into the ChatGPT shit and it's like, I feel a certain way, but I feel very similar to you where I'm just like, it's not authentic. But then it's like, dude, there are people that have joke writers. Richard Pryor had a whole fucking team. You know,
Yeah, that's
does
true.
Richard Pryor suck?
Paul
Is he not
Mooney.
genuine? You know?
Yeah.
It's all Paul Mooney.
Like then it gets into that, and that's
I
the
guess
argument
that's
that those
true.
people have. You know?
I guess that's true. It is
So
a
then-
resource. It is. I guess I don't know.
It's also so new to the landscape that I think that's the reason everyone has their own very
Yeah.
strong opinions on it because everybody's threatened by it, first of all, and it's like we don't understand, we don't know. And I think to your point too, like about music, it's similar to that age in music when that all first. And then you definitely had people who probably still are like, I only use real
You
drums
want
in my
authentic,
songs.
yeah.
I'm the
Yes.
real deal.
Yeah.
They're
And
like,
they're
you're
right.
not skilled.
You're right.
You're
But-
not skilled. You're using a computer. That's not real.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Same shit.
But it
Bitch, you write a
completely
prompt for the
discredits-
GPT.
But like when it comes to like music, like people think that like if you're not like a physical musician or whatever, like learning how to do that shit on a soundboard or whatever, like anybody can just hop and do it. No, that takes
not
skill
true.
as
Yeah.
well.
I
Like,
do.
It's just different.
Yeah.
I do think it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of backtrack. Not
There's no
completely.
backing out now.
I
It's too
think-
late. You're
I
No,
right.
stand on business.
No. I still stand. I still believe like I
Stand
don't.
on something.
I don't. The lips
It's
of
on
my
the top
shoes.
shelf.
As
You
Nathaniel
gotta
said.
get it.
Yes.
I still think that like for premise like it I don't know, I just don't want a premise wrote like you have the premise because we all come up with 1,000 premises a day.
Yeah.
I don't want ChatGPT to write that, but if it needs punching up, I'm okay with that because I do in my professional life I use ChatGPT almost every single day to punch up
Everyone
something.
does.
Really?
Every single
I
day.
did not know that.
Dude, I don't
I didn't know
write.
you're such a big
To
fat
write
phony.
like formal shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, to write
Everyone's-
formal shit.
everyone's
Yeah,
using it.
I'll change words because like
Yeah.
I don't want it to look as generated. Like
Plagiarized,
it
yeah.
is generated, but like I have like I have like what I want to say, but I want it to make it pretty. Is kind of
Yeah,
and
right.
I'm okay with that. I feel like
Yeah.
in jokes because like it's just a resource to clean up, I guess, what you already thought. I just don't want it writing the joke for
I think
you.
you just told on
Feel that.
yourself, and it's okay.
That's true.
I use it.
Yeah.
I use it all the time. professional.
No, but
Pull up your search history right now and see how many jokes you've asked it to write. Let's
That's what I'm saying.
pull it up. Yeah.
Like I was wondering why he was so hard about it. Like,
Yeah,
why
like,
you
I-
just let
It's like
people
those guys who are
live.
like, yeah, the gays are wrong.
Yeah,
and, they're like,
and then they
"Oh, you've
wanna
been
suck
sucking
dick
dick.
on 'em.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to be like
Closeted.
I just don't want it to be like
Yeah.
people aren't trying to be funny anymore.
Well, because the thing that you love about stand up is the exact opposite of that. Like the authenticity, the
Yeah.
moments, and like Greg Payne is, we've talked about
the
it
most
1,000 times on
authentic
the show.
person in the
He's
fucking world.
Only Greg
Greg,
Payne can be
Greg,
Greg
Greg.
Payne, and thank God there's only one of them. But he is the only one
Ain't
that
there
can be
much
Greg
meth
Payne.
in the
You
world?
could
No.
never, you could never have AI do what Greg
No.
Payne does.
Yeah.
Never, at least yet. But I just thought it was
Yeah.
an interesting
And
conversation.
I just
Unless you
don't want
enter in
people
a
to, like,
prop
cheat.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
fentanyl.
You know what I'm saying?
Like-
No, I feel it.
Like I don't think
Beanie.
it's cheating. I don't think it's cheating if you already like if I wrote my OJ joke into ChatGPT and I'm like clean it up. I don't feel like that's cheating. I feel like I've already have the OJ joke. I put it in.
Also, though,
give me a
and this
funnier
goes back to
world.
what Brandi said. I think just do you. Just do whatever
Yeah,
you want.
I think
Who
it's
cares?
subjective, dude, for
Yeah.
sure. Like I wouldn't use it, but also, have you guys played around with it?
Oh yeah.
Little bit.
with
So
jokes,
fun.
like
No, not with
you
jokes.
can me and Andrew McCaffrey messed with it when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was talking about it. You can like you were saying with the Nate Bargatze thing, you can tell it to write jokes in the style of comedians.
Right.
But it won't do dirty or offensive jokes.
Yes.
So it's like,
Works really well with Nate Bargatze then.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
true.
like it's still limited in some ways, if you're trying
I guess
to
this
do
means
like a certain
Grampy can
kind of
stop paying
joke.
Joe for jokes and just use ChatGPT now.
Yeah.
Dude, don't put Joe out of a
Would save
job.
some money.
I don't know. I do
Yeah.
think it's a resource that I think every comedian at some point will utilize. I think there's a fine line in cheating, like with the cheating. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I
You're a
think
goody
Whatever you
two-shoes.
got to tell yourself to make your use of ChatGPT.
I have never used it. I have never used it for a joke.
You just said you
It feels
did.
like a
No,
politician.
no,
No,
not
he said he did it for work.
for work.
For work. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said
I've done it for work. Yeah.
Have you not
yeah.
listened to the podcast? He does real estate.
Yeah.
And he has
Jesus
and he has a
kid.
baby
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
CrossFit.
No, but like
CrossFit.
what I'll do, like
put that in the prompt.
for like work, like if I'm listing a house, I'll put in like these are what I need it to say, make it sound pretty.
Yeah, everyone does that now.
And like, cause I can't, I'm not gonna be able to compete with anybody else. But like,
Yeah.
and like, I don't think that's a problem. Like if I typed out like this is the entire like these are the three. OJ joke has 4 punchlines now, right?
Yeah.
If I typed in my 4 punchlines and the setup and all that, and I say clean it up a little bit, I think that's fine. I think that's using a resource. That's just rewriting your joke 1,000 times rather than rewriting your joke 1,000 times. You're just having.
I feel like you're just
I disagree.
rehashing the same point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree. I think
I feel like I've heard this argument 4 times in a row.
But
I
Brandi,
think that-
Brandi missed the context of it.
No,
so I was like,
You're getting
I
defensive.
got what
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
saying. You started this by saying, I don't think that comedians should use ChatGPT. And
Yeah.
then your last statement was just, well, I feel like I should
No.
be able to use it
Shouldn't-
to punch it up so I don't have to put
that
in
was
the
his
work.
point.
That was.
This
We're
point.
in
my
the weeds.
point. I disagree.
You
I don't like when
you
people
said
use
the
it,
OJ
but it's not
joke
my
had
place.
4 punchlines.
No.
So
I
if
say
put
like
them in,
I say like that. I don't have as much of a problem with that. I just don't want like you to put in
Right.
make a joke about OJ and then I do an OJ like it just and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like if you have the joke and you need to punch it up a little bit. I'm not gonna do that, but like I'm not gonna super judge you. I'm sorry. We should move on. Justin,
Yes, we
Ray
should.
swore.
this shit
Ray
up.
swore.
He brought
Ray
this shit
swore.
up.
Ray swore.
he brought this shit up.
I did bring this up. I didn't realize this was the hill Michael was going to die on.
No. I mean, I wouldn't do it because I think part of the process is all of the time that you have to put into
Yeah.
it to make your shit tight.
Yep.
So I mean, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. I
I
respect that.
agree with that,
But I
too.
would never
It's the
tell somebody
BBL.
not to do it because who the fuck am I? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the BBL of
It's the
comedy.
BBL.
Like, you
BBL
gotta
comedy.
get in the gym.
Yeah.
You gotta
And
get in the gym.
Another thing, and I mean, I guess this is true in like most things, but in comedy, there's so many motherfuckers just looking for shortcuts, dude.
Yeah.
It's just
That's true. That's true.
And the people that I see, I mean, I've not been doing it a long time, but in the time that I've been doing it, I've like been lucky enough to work with like people that are established and like I see the difference between people. And it's just the motherfuckers that don't take the shortcuts are the ones that get the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you take a shortcut, that's usually the fucking wall, dude.
Or it's
like
a very
you stop.
short-lived success. Like,
Yeah.
Because you can't maintain it. You know,
No.
if
But-
you cheated your way there, how are you going to stay on top? It's
Exactly.
tough.
See,
it's
I
tough.
agree with
Or
that.
even get there. I mean,
even get
because
there.
like even the shortcut, like you could be on your way to the top, and then like you do some bullshit just because you don't want to do the work that it takes to get there. You
Yeah.
could have made it there. You could have been on like SNL, or you could be like big enough to do theaters or something. But you decided to do some fucking bullshit because you didn't want to work.
There's another thing that you said the other day that is very important too to the life of comedy. Like, you can't just take from comedy.
Yes.
You can't just always expect to be on shows
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, you have to give to comedy.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
have to pour into it.
It won't give to you if you don't give to it.
I
If
agree.
you're only
Agreed.
taking, like if you just
Yeah.
expect shit and you don't do anything or put anything into it.
It does feel like
Absolutely.
almost like a sentient sometimes, where it's like you got to feed it and then it feeds
Yeah.
you back. Like Mother Earth, it delivers, and sometimes it's fucking heartless and it
Yeah.
ruins your life, and sometimes you're like, this is the best. It's taking care of me. Yeah.
And most
Yeah.
of the people I see that are complaining that like they didn't get shit or they don't get opportunities and other people do and shit, it's like, well, you don't fucking do anything.
Yeah.
So you just sit there and you expect for it to happen.
And
And you don't
wait.
market
You
yourself in
expect to
any
get a
way.
phone
You
call.
don't write.
Yeah.
You do the same shit every time. Like, it's
Yeah. Well,
See,
so
I listen. I agree exactly 100% with
No,
what
you don't.
you
But
just said.
moving on.
I
We-
really do.
we got to move
I'm
on.
not one
We
to
gotta-
tell-
he's coming back. He's like, listen,
Listen, I'm not one of
I
them.
don't
I don't
fucking
wanna
use chat BBT, but it's good.
Yeah. I don't want to hear him explain it the fifth time.
Don't use it. But every joke, I've never written a joke. So,
I don't want to hear him explain it the fifth time. So moving on.
My big thing.
Here's another one. So Cat Williams obviously has been in stand-up news for a while now, but he recently announced he's doing a live Netflix special on May the 4th. You can tune in to Netflix live and watch Cat Williams. He's the second person to ever do it after Chris Rock a couple months back. Thoughts? Anybody on Cat Williams?
I didn't even
been
know.
a-
I didn't know.
I didn't even know
down
Chris
for
Rock
him.
did it live. I
didn't
didn't
know
that.
about that either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have watched it if I would have known either.
Yeah. Well, I obviously didn't tune in.
I did, and he did. Well, that was the first time
That's
he did
risky.
anything on Will Smith. That was the first time he dropped it. Was after all, it had been like a year and a half or something, and he dropped it during the live special.
Was he wearing all white?
Yes,
I did watch
Yep,
it.
that's the one.
It wasn't funny.
I didn't think it was that great. I didn't think it was that great. I think
I think that's a lot of. I mean,
it's a
instead of doing
special, but it's
Yeah.
live. But a live special is missing what makes live comedy so great. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a live audience too?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like.
It's different. It's interesting.
I'm excited for Cat Williams. I've
too.
always been a fan of Cat Williams,
him.
though. I thought that he was he was the first comedian that I've ever seen live.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw him performing in Cincinnati,
Oh,
like
shit.
when I lived in
What year?
Cincinnati. This had to be 2004, maybe.
Oh,
So,
shit!
like-
Pimp
God.
Chronicles,
Oh
like
my
right there.
Yeah.
God.
Pimpin'.
Yeah.
That's right up there with being like, yeah, I saw Eddie Murphy in '86. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not-
yeah, that's the fucking
that's
prime cat,
at
dude.
the height. Yeah,
Cat in the
that's-
Hat.
Yeah.
I mean, was he fucking phenomenal?
Hilarious.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, man.
Fucking yeah. So
Oh my
I'm excited
God.
for that.
Yeah.
I'll watch
I'm
it.
excited.
If
Yeah.
anyone's gonna crush that shit,
It'd be
you know,
Cat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cat because the difference between him and Chris Rock is like Chris Rock does a lot of shit. Cat Williams does stand up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what we were talking about earlier. It's
Yeah.
like you get away from it for too long, and then
Yeah.
you
You're
just.
talking about it on the way up here, dude. It's like I don't do stand up for a week and then I go do a show and I'm like, man, I fucking suck.
You're
It's
rusty.
like, yeah, absolutely feel it.
It's
that
quick.
quick.
Go
That
a month.
quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Yeah,
That
it's
is-
rough.
You gotta stop doing that.
You
You
gotta
got a
stop.
lot of mics around here now.
You really got to
We do
ignore
now.
your child for a couple months
I
and
mean,
get back on
come
track.
on now. Everybody else doing
Priority.
it.
Yeah,
Fuck, make you a responsible father.
Everybody else do it.
I should throw my
That is
family, throw my family away to make $50 a week
That's right.
telling jokes.
That's right. Do you want it or not? Jesus
Like,
Christ.
how serious are you,
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah.
Rose? Goddamn.
No, I think
What
Y'all
would you
spent the
do
whole
if your
fucking
son was
time we've
at
been on
home
here.
crying all alone?
You spent
What would you do?
because he's hungry.
I will be.
And the
hungry
only
if
way to
that's the-
feed him is to go to an open mic for no fucking money. And his dad is gone. No,
It's a hit.
it's terrible.
Plug that into AI.
Because he's hungry.
Let's get that going.
But nah, man, I don't know. You guys have spent the whole time saying this motherfucker's not funny. Now you're telling him to abandon his family to try to be a comedian. Why you want to ruin his life so
We
bad?
do not have your best interest in mind. That's true.
Oh, at all. Never
Not at
listen
all.
to comedians.
They just wanna
Comedians
laugh.
give the worst life advice.
Yes.
Oh, comedians.
You guys,
That's why every episode we close with "What's your number one piece of advice?" just to see how out of bounds they are at the end of every episode.
Well,
Some of them have been wild.
the thing about this area is you guys do have a shitload of
We do
mics
now.
now, but they're all so spread apart. It's
Yeah.
not
Spread
like you can. They're all just like within distance of
For
this
me-
place. What's the address again?
For me,
But-
no. So for me, like
You got like Tuesday, right? That's the closest one.
That's the
Tuesday,
closest
Tuesday.
one. That's the closest one. And that wasn't
That's
even
still
a,
what, like 10 minutes away?
that
15
one's
minutes?
not bad. Like
Yeah.
that one I could do at the drop of a hat. And that one wasn't even around for 3 months, 4 months. Like it's
Yeah.
was closed down
Just
for a long
reopened.
time.
Yeah.
And then we have like Wednesday, Thursday now.
Sunday starting this week.
Sunday starting this week,
Mhm.
and I think we have a Monday one, but that Monday one is far also.
Yeah. It's,
But they're all like the closest one minus the one on Tuesday, which wasn't here for a while. It's like 40 minutes away.
yeah. Well,
So-
you have to move. This
See-
area in general is honestly spread out. Like if you
At least
want
I
to
know a guy
enjoy
who
the
can sell my
Tri-Cities, you got to drive
house,
40
so,
minutes for shit. Like
Oh, yeah.
even with Don't Tell, that's why we did Tri-Cities as
Yeah.
opposed to Johnson City because there's just not enough in one of the three. You need all three.
Yeah.
And
to
that was
make
a
it
smart
cohesive.
move. Yeah.
I hope
for
so. Our first one's going to Bristol next month, so hopefully that'll pay off, and we'll see.
Nice.
Which we've
That's it.
already
You got to
announced,
do
but-
it one time to see, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just got to see.
Yeah,
I'm not
see
going to
what's up.
Kingsport, but we'll go to Bristol.
Don't they have laughing
Yeah.
gas in the air in Kingsport? Didn't we establish
That's
that a
true.
couple weeks ago?
They do,
Might
yeah.
be good for the show.
They
No,
have
so-
laughing gas?
Apparently, Eastman Chemical Company released like 10 times the legal limit of laughing gas in the air a couple years ago. So
It just fucking
Nice.
stinks in Kingsport.
Dude, don't tell there.
Stinks so bad.
that's what I'm saying.
The plant.
Get them laughing.
Yeah.
The laughing gas
At the
plant.
plant.
Do it at Eastman. See
It
what
looks
that-
like it's like
Yeah.
where someone became the Joker.
Right
It is
on
like,
thinking.
that really is it. Dude.
Someone falls into
Yeah.
a vat and now you have a Hulk.
Michael
Anyway.
falls into a vat and then he's funny.
shit.
He's like, why
You
so
won't like me
serious?
when I'm funny. Yeah, kind of like a whole thing.
Is this your origin story? You're like
That's
your
about
villain
to do it.
origin
Yeah.
I'll
story.
never see my
I
family
think I would be a
again.
good villain. I think
I think you would be a great villain. You have the hair for it.
I do.
Like you always have
I
to
have a
have
cat.
like a very.
Can't you just see
I'm a
him?
cat.
Does your cat hop up on your shoulders?
he will.
You gotta teach him.
See,
Yeah.
He'd be the first ever villain to just
He likes
play
to-
with a hacky sack while he's
he likes to
torturing you.
hold.
Just sit there and play with a hacky sack.
Wait. Oh, Michael, don't be mad at me.
Doesn't he look like a hacky sack kind of?
No.
I don't think I look like a hacky sack. That one's not funny. I
No,
think
you
the
just
ice
look
cream-
like
I think the
what a
ice cream
hacky
cone
sack
was
is.
the best one.
You just look like a villain that would go uppies. Like, you know.
uppy.
The bad guy in Boss Baby.
That's what my daughter does whenever she wants to be picked up. Just
Uppies.
wow. Every about 10
great.
episodes, it's my roast.
Yeah.
And I never know
You
what
just make it
is.
so easy. We can't
I
help
do.
it.
It's episode
You
40.
literally have come at me for so long the last few times I've seen
Asking
you.
for it.
I know.
Yeah.
I told you I was bringing my hitters, dude.
We're even now.
Do you? We're even. He's like, all right, that's
It's
enough.
not even okay.
That's enough.
Okay.
Don't listen to next week's episode. When I stew on
Do
it.
you? Is there
Hey.
anything you'd like to bring up on this episode?
Before, the Cat Williams thing, can we?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
let's wrap that up. Yeah.
Yo. Before, I'll tell you what I'm more excited for.
Okay.
Fucking Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, dude. That's gonna be
Oh,
live on
yeah,
Netflix.
yeah.
Let's talk
Is that
that,
live
dude.
on Netflix
Yeah,
too?
Yeah, it is.
Fuck
Yeah.
Live on
yes. I will
Netflix. Let's
actually
go,
watch
dude.
that.
Let's go.
I'm not a boxing fan in any real capacity at all, but I would love to watch him get knocked out.
You know what?
Who? Mike Tyson?
I could have guessed that.
Thank you.
You want to see Mike
Yeah.
Tyson get knocked out?
You think Mike Tyson's going to get knocked out?
Dude, he's fighting like a 27, 28-year-old on steroids that trains every day and has for like 5 years. He's going to get knocked
It's
out.
a
He's
30.
60, brother.
It's a 31-year age gap.
I
He's
think
60.
I think Mike
31.
Tyson's
How
going to
old are you?
win.
Listen to me.
25.
I've trained MMA for like over a decade.
Have you really?
Yes, I train with people that are in the like UFC.
He has fights.
Yeah.
Do you really?
I have fights,
I
yes.
didn't know that.
Mike Tyson is old, bro, dude.
Yeah.
And look at all the clips that they've released. They're all in like 5-second increments because after that, he's like, I
Yeah.
guarantee you, dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
I guarantee you.
Yeah, obviously endurance
If it
is going to be a
doesn't-
problem when you're
Don't you
31
have
years old.
MMA pictures on your Instagram?
I've seen
Yeah,
him.
I
Yeah,
got
I've
one
seen
or
him.
two. Yeah.
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 If I'll show you the fight. You want to see the fight, dude? I fought.
Link in the description. You can see Justin fight.
Yeah. I'll show you the last
No,
fight.
that
that's
on the
interesting.
Patreon.
So this whole trend in boxing, I think, is kind of similar to what we're starting to see in the stand-up world, where like TikTok comedians are starting to blow up. You know, all
YouTube
these
boxers.
YouTube
you
boxers are
say-
starting to move over. I think it's a similar thing where it's like you're seeing this veteran who everybody respects go against this guy who's he just learned algorithms basically.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of people would say Trevor Wallace, Matt Rife, all these TikTok comedians, which also I saw
I was
Trevor
gonna say,
Wallace.
didn't you see?
I was about to say
Wallace?
Trevor Wallace is funny as
Dude,
fuck.
I thought he was
actually
great.
crazy to me.
I was
Yeah.
shocked
I
at how
didn't
good
think
he
he was
was.
going to be funny
And-
on doing stand up. I didn't think he was going to be
He
that
started
funny.
out as a
Yeah.
stand-up
Did he
comedian.
really?
Yeah,
I know him
he's
since,
been
like,
stand up.
Vine.
He's been doing stand up, but I think that he made the videos like while he was doing stand up.
I didn't know
Right.
that. I didn't even know he was a stand up
Yeah.
comedian at all.
Yeah.
He's
I-
quick too, dude.
I
He's
thought he
one of the
was
best
just-
crowd workers in my opinion.
That,
right
that
now,
makes
yeah.
sense to me. You told me he was like he killed it, and I was like,
Well,
that
he was
just
at
kinda
Bridgestone
surprising.
Arena with 10,000 people, which obviously is a very different thing than a club. So I felt like if he could be semi-good in that environment, he probably crushes in a club, and he was pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Did
The
he-
feature was fucking awful. The guy in the middle
He
was
opened
not
for
good.
Segura.
Yeah, open for Cigar.
Oh, now that you said the feature's awful, you want to say who it was?
I was
Or do
waiting.
you wanna
would,
tell me
but
afterwards?
I don't even know his name, but I'll look him up right now.
Are you
yeah.
fucking MIB flash yourself, dude?
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
gonna
Or
be
it
like-
just wasn't for me. I'll say that.
gonna be
Some
like
of the
the
crowd
nicest
enjoyed him.
person.
I didn't.
It's gonna be somebody that comes to like Blue Ridge in a few
Yeah,
months or something.
it's gonna be like the nicest person in the world.
Hey, do you want to do Talking Bitch? Yeah, I'll do it. And then he like checks out one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Happens to be this one.
He's like,
It's like,
oh,
fuck this guy.
He's like, I've heard of this Don't Tell rep, and then yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you guys? I know we've asked you both advice on this show before. Is there any like new advice you guys would like to give to? I mean, you guys are like killing it. You guys are blowing up now more than ever. I mean, you guys are.
We're doing bar shows in different places.
You're which is the next level.
Spending more on gas.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you're
yes,
going to,
yeah,
you're going
exactly.
to Nashville. Brandi,
Hoping
you're
to
going
hit
to
even.
Nashville and Atlanta soon. I mean, your
Yeah.
Don't Tells are
Yeah, yeah,
selling
yeah.
out. You had 40 people waiting. I mean, any new advice you guys would want to give before we wrap it up?
Matt Fulcheron, by the way, that's the feature that I did not enjoy. Matt Fulcheron.
Make sure you add
I
him.
never heard of him.
Um,
But I'm sure he's funny.
Last
no balls.
time it was just like stay in the gym, like get in the gym, stay in the gym, be consistent, and I would keep with that. But then I would add that tidbit from Justin about like giving to comedy.
Yeah.
Don't just try and take.
That is
comedy.
great,
I do
and that's
like
a
that.
first for the show. But I think I really don't
I like
know
that a
how
lot.
nobody's brought it up before because
Yeah.
it's so true. Also, much like I always say, like the question we ask about comedic influences, I can kind of see that in the person. When I hear Justin say give back to comedy, I see that in what Justin does, like the way that he supports the scene and the scene then turns
you are
around
the
and supports
Knoxville
him.
scene. Like
That's
your group is the Knoxville scene.
Well, it also,
Yeah.
I think it's important to note that at every Don't Tell, there's 4, 5, 6, 7 comics helping move chairs, helping move speakers. And it's not just because they think they'll get opportunity out of it. It's because they believe in Justin and what he's doing and the scene. They want to help the scene, which is, I think it's new for stand-up. I think it's not something 20 years ago that you saw anywhere.
No.
Anywhere you did not see that shit. But I love it. I think it's fucking
But
incredible.
we're also in a new time, just in general. And the last few years, we have been like really focused on a lot of mutual aid shit in general.
Yes.
And building communities in that way. And these are like real people who do other things or whatever.
Yeah.
So like when you get people that are like me or whatever, like I when I love something, when I'm like really like into something, like I'm gonna give my all to it or whatever. Yeah. So I'm like, you have more people like that in the scene, so it makes it a better scene. But also people have to want to do it. Like there has to be a drive there. Like we have a guy who comes out to the open mics or whatever. I don't know if he'll ever like want to do like big comedy or whatever. But he's probably the most helpful motherfucker since Gerard is left.
That's great.
You know,
New Gerard.
Yeah,
Oh, I
he's
know.
the new
I met
Gerard.
New Gerard.
Yeah, James Osborne. Shout out James Osborne.
Shout out to New Gerard. We love you, buddy.
Yeah, James Osborne's very helpful, dude.
Yeah, and
and I mean, he's only
that's
been doing
awesome.
comedy like 6 months, but for being 6 months in, he's pretty damn funny.
Which is great. Which is great. Well, also, I think we live in a time where, like, with social media and stuff, everybody loves to talk about how it's divisive and it's tearing us apart and all this shit. But part of that, too, is exactly what you're saying. That it allowed us to build these communities and these networks of comedy that really, I would say, is global, where it's like pretty rarely do you see a big-name comedian other than Cat Williams being like, fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. Yeah. There's not a lot of haters left in the world because we just don't buy into it, I think, a lot of times. Like, the support means more to comedy now, which is so different than 40 years ago. I mean, my God, in the 70s, people were like going crazy over each other. Like Cosby famously told Eddie Murphy that there could only be one famous black dude at a time. He was like, I'm the black comic.
Yeah,
Step
it's
aside.
wild. Because,
It's crazy to
and that was the
imagine.
time, but it wasn't. You know, they both ended up carving out their own.
Yes,
fucking
and it didn't have
lanes.
to be that way.
It never has to be that way. It's not like it's pie. It's not like, you know, if I become successful in comedy, that means that Michael is going to be less successful.
Right.
Michael is always going to be less successful than me.
That's true.
I'd have absolutely no control over it.
God damn.
We had to circle back.
You know what's fucked up? I've been the nicest to him on this podcast. You guys are dickheads. Make sure to mark that. You're going to have to turn her mic down.
All right.
Fuck yeah.
Brandi is muted. Let's finish this
great.
up.
Don't piss off the man with the board.
Beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. No, that's no, I think that's great. Like feed comedy and it'll feed you is such a perfect
I
thing
think
to
that's
say.
great
Yeah.
advice as well.
Dude, that's like people say get on stage as much as possible. I think that as a young comic, if you're trying to take it seriously, like starting an open mic or starting like a monthly or weekly show is just as important.
Yeah.
Because that allows you to meet people outside of your own scene.
Right. And if it's not there, make it. Create
Yeah,
it.
that's what's been helpful for me is just meeting these people, and then like I've gotten opportunities by just having people that normally wouldn't see me do comedy.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah.
Well, also I
and
think
I feel like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
interrupt
you're
you,
fine. We've
but-
been around it enough now too, and he was kind of saying with this stuff popping up in the Tri-Cities, like Travis Stevenson, friend of the show, started an open mic recently. I know firsthand. I see the kind of weight and the pressure that puts on Travis to host it every week, to be there, to try to draw. He loses sleep over it. Nobody's coming up. The pressure, people don't understand.
He cares, though.
but he cares.
There
and
are
he's
people
doing
that do it that
Right.
don't feel any of that.
Right.
And you
Right.
can tell the second you walk in,
Yeah.
and then they're like, why am I not successful? Why does nobody support me? It's like, dude, you don't support yourself.
'Cause
You
they're
don't
not
give a fuck
giving
about
to it.
comedy. You're
Right.
doing this for you.
Yeah.
You got to give back to comedy.
That's
You're
right.
taking from it by doing that.
I think that's great. I really do.
Yeah.
I think that's great advice.
Do y'all have any dates coming up that you want to plug
This
before
comes
we
out
wrap it up?
not this Friday, the following Friday. So about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. What the fuck we got coming up?
I know so much, but I
This
don't
will be
have my
out
phone
early
on
May,
me.
so anything late May or June.
Yeah.
Bunch of Don't Tells up
I
in
am
Knoxville.
doing the Bijou. I'm playing
Oh, hell
East
yeah.
Room. East. I think this is called the East Room in Nashville.
Not the main room
with
in Nashville.
Adeem-
I'm just kidding. I don't.
With Adeem the Artist, I'm gonna have 2 dates where I'm opening for Adeem the Artist. So the first one is in Nashville in the East Room on the 9th, and then I'll be playing the Bijou Theater in Knoxville on the 10th.
In
That's
June?
so
or May?
cool.
In May.
May. Okay. May. Yeah. That's
That's
awesome.
so cool.
Yeah.
That's,
Bijou's
are you
awesome.
Those are my
featuring or
big
headlining?
things. Featuring,
That's-
opening for the headliner. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Adeem the Artist, but he's like a big.
I do know the name. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Check out
a
Adeem the Artist. Check out Adeem the Artist.
They will.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at people supporting
Very
people,
much
Brandi.
so.
Anyway,
Come on.
take
Yeah,
notes.
that's great.
I'm gonna learn.
Justin, what you got? Anything coming up? June?
May we have a bunch of Don't Tells. Definitely check those out if you're in Knoxville. Roast Battle, Brandi hosts. That's every third Wednesday. Every third Wednesday of the month at Central Cinema. We have that Fly By Night show every fourth Wednesday.
Which is getting great.
Next headliner is
getting
going to be
great.
Drew Morgan. You know, he's working on that
Dope
Don't Tell
shit.
special. Come check that material out because it's hilarious.
Yep.
Then in June, we'll be in Nashville. Yeah, we're doing
That
a show
the
at
whole
Zany's. We're doing that like Stone Cold Sober show at Zany's in the new room there.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
that'll be cool to check that out.
Yeah.
Do a few Don't Tells while we're there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure we'll
That's
hop
great,
on some
man.
other
And
shit. So
then-
Do you have any
Social
Don't
media,
Tell
and
headliner
then-
coming up that you want to like tease or anything? Like any exciting headliner? You always got
I
something
mean,
in
it's
the bag.
funny
That's good.
people. Yeah, like I mean, we always got people. We got some
Always.
things up our sleeves.
Mark
but-
Norman popped in a
gotta
couple weeks
see.
ago, so you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know,
Martin
man.
Norman,
It's like
Sam Talon, Jeffrey Osmonds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
yeah.
you're killing it.
It's pretty crazy, dude. I was
Jamie
thinking
Jamie
about
Wolf.
that
Crazy.
the other day. I was like, man, I'm 2.5 years into comedy, and I've already met like so many of the people that I love
So
that made
many.
me want to start comedy. You
Yeah.
know? It's so crazy.
That's
I've been
so
on
exciting.
shows with half of them. Like,
Yeah.
that's wild. But I mean,
That's
that's just like. I mean, you saw like around the time when me and Tyler were just going every night somewhere different.
Yeah.
Like I was doing mics every single night.
You're
dude.
giving to it, and it's giving back to you, man. It's fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure. I put a lot of effort into
Yeah.
it.
It's the best, man.
But I also like one of the things that I like is being able to give people the opportunities like that as well.
Of course.
To meet other people from different
Yeah.
places. And like I said, I've had the opportunity to have people see me and then invite me to come do stuff because
Right.
they're like, you're funny.
Yeah.
Same thing I'm sure she could say for some of those shows. Like
And
people from
showcasing
other
the
places.
local businesses too. That's a part I didn't
Yes.
even think about before we started my Don't Tell, but I love it. I really
Yes.
do. Getting
Like-
to like bring new eyes to those awesome businesses. It's fucking cool.
We have one coming up. It's going to be, there's a Kern's Food Hall that they just built. It's in the old like Kern's Bakery in South Knoxville. It's huge. It has like all these crazy businesses in.
Yeah,
We're
it's
doing
huge.
one on the rooftop there. It just opened. It's
awesome.
like, it's a beautiful place. So it's going to be wild.
That's so
Seeing
cool.
that. Yeah.
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 That is
And
so
we're getting
cool.
places like that reaching out to us now. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy because when I started, I had to like go in and convince these businesses, like, please let us do this. And they'd be like, why would we do this? And then I'd have to sit down with them and explain it.
Right.
And now we have like crazy businesses that I would never even think would want anything to do with us reaching out to us.
Yeah.
So
That's where I want to be in a year. I mean,
Yeah.
it's exactly the roadmap.
There's a lot
I'm
of cool
following
venues
for
in
them.
like the Tri-Cities.
There is, yeah.
too.
I think we'll
Oh,
get
for
there.
sure.
We
Do
have,
you have a goal venue, like a
I have
dream
so
venue?
many. I have so many, and I don't know if I've said this on the show. When I pitched the idea of Don't Tell, the producer that I was talking to at the time, before I was even like signed on with the company, he's in LA, and he really has no perception of what Tri-Cities is. He doesn't know or understand, but he didn't seem super hooked by the idea. Like he wasn't thrilled with the area and all this shit. And then he was like, "Anything else? Kind of, like just saying anything you want to wow me with." And I just said, "Have you ever put a Don't Tell show underground?" And he was like, "What do you mean underground?" And he like kind of repostured and he was like, "I'm listening." And I was like, "I just mean like a cavern or a cave or anything like that." And he was like, "No." So there's a lot of locally owned, private owned caverns locally that do events, weddings, shit like that. No spoilers yet because I don't have anything to announce, but sometime this year that is a dream for me to put one in a cavern.
Hell yeah!
And
I also
logistically-
think you could dream bigger.
There's
though.
some shit to work out, but logistically that's my first
No,
big
no, no,
goal to
I got
hit,
you.
and
That's
then
awesome.
figure it
I
out
got you.
past that.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
because I'm like, I was just thinking of like how great, because like Nashville did the fucking stadium or whatever.
The
and I'm like,
racetrack's
if
on the
y'all do
list too.
Yeah,
Racetracks on the list too.
do you know where my dream venue for Don't
Say
Tell
do
is?
one at the racetrack.
Yeah, that would be dope,
Fuck,
right?
dude.
Where?
Nah, it's ruined.
No, wait, where?
I was gonna say your mother's vagina.
Hey, And that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. That's our.
No, before we go,
yeah.
do you guys have any social
What'd you
medias?
say? That's a 50-seater? What happened?
Yeah, I think we could do 2 shows in a night there probably.
We can pack it in. We can definitely pack it in.
I like the energy switch. I hate that we're ending, but now like I can go for another 2 hours. When I put in Nathaniel.
So could Nathaniel's mom, I heard.
No, do you guys have any
socials?
any social medias? Anything you guys want to plug before we wrap it up?
Follow me on Instagram at the Maze Man, please God, so that I can get booked more because people care about that shit.
That's a long at.
What's up?
Nothing.
Stop. He's an idiot. Go ahead.
Don't follow Michael. Unfollow Michael, please. Actually, if you follow him, unfollow Michael.
Unfollow Michael.
At Michael Rose Comedy.
So he can continue to not get booked.
Unfollow.
And then don't tell Knoxville, of course.
Yes,
Brandi.
On Instagram, Brandi.Augustus. On everything else. I mean, it's just Brandi Augustus.
They'll
and I have a
find you.
website. Yeah, BrandiAugustus.com.
I am Michael Rose Comedy. It'll
NLB_423 on Instagram.
And
That's me. But more importantly,
Talkin' Bits
don't
Pod?
tell Tri-Cities. Talking Bits Pod.
He said
Follow
more
us.
importantly,
Not
don't
this
tell.
show. Yeah. No, so when this comes
Fuck
out,
this podcast. Follow, don't tell.
when this comes out, our May 25th date will be coming up, and we're putting 80 seats at a fucking awesome venue in Bristol. We're coming to Bristol.
Nathaniel's
bringing it
mom's
there.
vagina.
That's where it's going. 80 seats.
Bigger than we thought.
I've already booked the headliner. He's out of Nashville. He's gonna be. He's gonna be phenomenal.
I'm the headliner. Nathaniel's mom's
He's going nowhere near it. Everybody, check that out. That's our show.
All right, we love you all.
Love you. Bye.